Hi guys, welcome back to another fun conversation with your favorite tech girl, aka me, Aarushi. Before we start, quick introductions. Hi, my name is Aarushi and I have about 7 years of experience building tech products. In these 7 years, I've worked across as a developer, as a product manager, as a marketeer, and now also partly as a content creator. And in this channel, we talk about all things tech, product, and general career adulting. So without further ado, let's get started. So guys, the topic at hand today is about how to crack the most common product management interview question, which is product design. But before I start, a quick call out to you guys. If you like the content, then please subscribe to the channel and please share it with your friends and like the video as well. Also, comment on the section below and tell me what else do you want me to make content on. I'd be very happy to listen to your feedback. After all, it's you that I'm making content for, right? So let's get going. Before we start, I'd like to just tell you how I have broken down this video. This video has basically two sections. The first section is when I will tell you what is this question all about, what are the structures that you should follow, and a basic understanding about what is the interviewer usually looking out for in this interview. And the second is we'll do a mock between the two of us, yes, you and I. So basically I'll pick up a question and I'll walk you through it and I'll give you my answer on how I would have solved that product design question. Looks good? Alright, so let's get going. Part number one, which is what is product design all about? Do I need to really design a product in it? Like, does it need pen and paper? How do I do it if I'm not good in design? I'm not a visual person. Oh my god, will I fail? Don't worry, it's nothing like that. Product design is basically how would you design the flow of a product. Now, why is that important? Or why is the interviewer even asking you that? Because they want to understand, do you have it in you to figure out the problem, figure out the key components of the solution, figure out a solution and really implement it in a way where it solves a problem. Also within this question, when you're answering this interview question, the interviewer is also looking out if you're able to juggle between competing priorities or prioritize between two competing features and really know what is it that your user wants. Now all of this sounds like a lot of mumbo jumbo. What does it mean in real life? And I mean, I am someone who doesn't have any product experience. What do I do in that case? I don't have much to pick up on. Well, don't worry my friend, you'll understand all of that through the example that I'm going to be taking up in the next section. So come along. Coming back to the second part, which is doing a sample question between you and I. Yes, you and I together will do one. So I've just picked up a very common one, which is, how would I make vending machines for Google? Now this is a bouncer, right? So the candidates that will not clear the interview will do either of the two things. Number one, they'll just go blank. They'll not know what to do. They'll maybe give out a few random examples of vending machines that they've seen. A vending machine needs coin, a vending machine needs products in it, maybe something like that. A, rejected. The second candidate would probably do something on the lines of acting a little bit over smart, and they might just go ahead and blabber out solutions that, oh, I know, Google should put Google Home in it, or Google should put the Google Glass in it and put a vending machine for those stuff, because that's what Google makes. Hey smartass, why do you think that is something Google will be interested in? Why do you think that vending machine will work? Why do you think Google should even come out with it? Do you even think people will buy something like that? That's the kind of question that your interviewer wants you to answer before you come to the final solution of having Google Home in a vending machine. You silly person. But don't worry, I will tell you how to answer it. So like I said in the part one of this video, there's a structure to it. Basically the interviewer is looking out if you're able to understand the business problem. Are you able to figure out what are the core elements that will be needed to make out the right solution? Are you able to figure out the right solution to those problems? Is your process, is the whole flow of your solution really solving the problem? And finally, are you able to choose between competing priorities? Are you able to figure out an MVP? This is what a product manager does in a nutshell, and that's why this interview is more commonly asked in a lot of PM interviews, because it's more like a simulation of a real day-to-day that a PM does. So now let's, you and I, figure this one out. So yeah, the question is, Google needs to make vending machines. You start with the first one. Why would Google want to have vending machines? Maybe ask the interviewer, or I would suggest the better thing would be to brainstorm a few ideas and tell them if your assumptions are correct. Maybe in this case, I could say Google wants to do vending machines because Google wants to build some kind of engagement, or has to build some kind of a brand presence at a specific location. or that Google wants to become like a cool thing in campuses or something. They want to build like kind of a brand somewhere. That's why they want to do these vending machines. Or I could also say that Google wants to enter into some kind of automated business, and that's why they want to do this vending machine. But in that case, if they do want to do some kind of automation, I would also want to know what automation. Maybe the automation is for making orange juices, or I don't know, making bread, if you just select the kind of wheat you want and so on. So you ask the business context of what it is. Maybe the interviewer tells you, or maybe they ask you to choose whatever you feel is the right thing. And in this case, let's say I chose that it's because Google wants to build a brand for itself, for the youth, for the Gen Z, and that's why they want to go with the vending machine route, because they feel Gen Z would really interact with some cool kind of tech which gives them something fast. So now that we know that why does Google want to do it, let's figure out what are the core components of the solution. Now the problem statement itself says that it wants to drive some kind of brand awareness to Gen Z. So it already selected its target base, but from within this target base, let's try to further break down this target segment into other kinds of segments. So for example, within Gen Z, there'll be people who are probably located in maybe metropolis cities, those who are located in tier 2 cities, and so on. And then there will be some who are students in universities, some in college. Then there could also be some who are engineers, who are technical people, or people who are more creative, and so on. So you can break your audience into a number of types of people depending on the use case, which is a vending machine. Now at this point, I think we should also ask some clarifying questions, that if this brand that we're trying to build is for the entire Gen Z, or is it for a specific segment of the Gen Z? If the interviewer in this case, let's say, says it's for the entire segment, then it's good that you, from the segments that we made before, you pick up the ones that impact your target metric, which is awareness on Gen Z the most. This is one of your prioritization games. Now you know that if I have to drive brand awareness, I need to start from the top. I need to start from the most influential Gen Zs, right? I want to start with the place where everyone wants to be. So starting from metropolis cities, starting from the biggest segment is the best way to go. So maybe I'll just say that, okay, I'll do this in the metropolis cities, because that's where the majority of the students would be, and I'll pick up some of the top universities, top college areas, or I'll pick up some of the areas where these students would really go a lot. So that's how I picked up my segment now. So what have we done so far? We've figured out the business reality, and we've also figured out who are my segment. Now the third thing that I'll do is, what do these guys need? What is their problem? So let's say I said that I'll reach out to university students in metro cities. Now these students want something which is cool. They want something which is not that expensive, and they want something which is fast. So whatever I make has to match all of these three criteria. Now what is it that Google has which is cool, can be quickly delivered, and can be not as expensive? Well, that's a tricky one. You can't do a Google Home now, right? So in this case, we could think of a couple of things. We know that these students might have homework. They might want to use some of the services of Google for doing their homework. Maybe they could pick up something on rent from these vending machines and probably use it to do their homework, and that's how Google can build their brand. At this point, I would actually urge you to call out to the interviewer that you'd like to do like a complete analysis of the suite of products that Google has, and how would they meet the requirements of a university student. One way to go about is that a university student might already be using some of the Google products, like of course Google Chrome, Google Bard, the whole Google Docs, Google Sheets, etc. So they must already be exposed to it, but what is it that this vending machine can give to the student that he will appreciate, he will buy from there, right? So like I said, there could be a subscription to some of the pay-per-use kind of features of Google. Google could also try some of their cool products like the Google Glass, could again give it away for rentals, but that part would be a little bit hard to manage, because you'll also have to get the glass back, and you don't know when that will happen. But then this vending machine could also do a lot of Google logos or Google merchandise. For example, I could just get a Google t-shirt, or I could get a Google hat, a cool looking hat or something, right? Now this one could be inexpensive, could be quickly available, and it will have the Google branding. It could be cool, it could be something that the Gen Z likes. So from all the ideas that I proposed, maybe this is the one that I pick up. Now we have to make a product so that this entire thing flows properly. Now how do I make this entire user experience work so that it's cool, it's fast, and it's not that expensive? So we pick up something which can be done in bulk. Now again, one call out that I want to do, not always this question would be something that requires a tech product to be built. It can be something which is like this vending machine, very physical asset oriented as well, and that's all okay. But what it requires is your empathy, your understanding of the user behavior and so on, right? So going back to this example, so we can say we can print t-shirts, print hoodies, print caps in cool funky designs, something that the Gen Z would like, and maybe you can put in some cool memes on it. Gen Z is a meme generation after all, so do some of those things that it resonates with them and builds a kind of a Noogler or a Googler or whatever kind of a brigade of people, and you take it out. You must have seen a lot of times Red Bull does a lot of events on campuses where it gives away Red Bull for free, but it's basically about Red Bull building future customers. So Google could do something on the same lines, give away a few things to build future customers, right? So anyway, I mean, it could build its brand by building this entire user experience. Now how does this user experience really go? When someone goes to the vending machine, they will probably like to check out the different things. So this is where we start designing the user experience, right? So when they go to the vending machine, they would first want to see what is entire catalog that's available on the vending machine. Then they'll probably choose what they want. Once they've chosen it, then they'd like to pay for it and then finally take their stuff out. At this point, they may also want to maybe not take the stuff right now, but maybe schedule it for some other day or get it delivered to their place and so on. Those could be the use cases as well, but we'll probably park them for now. See, I'm deprioritizing some stuff. We'll probably park them for now to be picked up later when we do the versions of this piece, but for now we'll focus on the vanilla flow of someone just picking something right now. Now while they're making the orders, I think the most important thing is for them to get convinced that the product inside is actually cool. So that cataloging, the way we show our products, it has to be amazing. Now there are multiple ways to do it. You can actually on the entire screen on the of the vending machine, you can have like a digital screen, like a 3D screen where things are popping out and it's looking really cool and funky. You can show various images of people wearing that stuff and appearing really nice, and you could do multiple ways of making sure that the catalog looks amazing and matches the thought process of the person who's buying it. You could also do something around printing the meme on the t-shirt, like just ask them to choose the meme, the color of the t-shirt, the size of the t-shirt, and you print it for them right over there. So that catalog experience, that experience of picking up the product, that has to be really nuanced and really good. So suggesting a couple of ideas over here in the interview would be a really nice thing to do. Once you've given a few ideas, and then you can say, okay, after they've chosen it, then they can simply maybe pay via Apple Pay, via card, or they can pay through cash as well. Maybe cash we'll do later because it's hard to manage, so we'll just do Apple Pay and card. Most Gen Z have an Apple Pay or a card these days, especially in the metro city, so it should be fine. Again, prioritization, and then we just give it away to them. So this is the entire user experience. You have actually deprioritized a few things over here. You've actually called out what is the most important one, which is the catalog. And I think we are almost there. The last part is, how would you make sure that this really solves the problem, which is by measuring the right metrics. What will you measure at this point? Like you said, like the problem said, that we need to make sure that this causes brand awareness for Google. You will measure brand awareness somehow. There are always a lot of surveys that you can do to measure the brand awareness, brand recall. But on this product itself, you can measure the kind of engagement it is driving. How many people came to the screen, how many people engaged through it, how many people eventually purchased the merchandise, and so on. So we'll measure all of those metrics to see how the product performed. At the end, a bonus thing would be to call out the risks. What are the risks of doing something like this? The risks are that people might not want to buy Google merchandise. Google is not a merchandise brand at all. It's never correlated to the vending machine for sure. So that is something where people might feel a mismatch between the brand perception and brand value of Google. The other possible thing is that students, even however cheap you might make it, but for a product where you print on demand, there might not be enough takers for it. It might still come out very expensive. So we'll have to do that unit economics for it as well. And I guess once you call out these risks, that is where you can again go back to the interviewer and tell them if they want you to cover anything else, or you can simply just summarize the interview once again and say thank you. So my friends, that is it for the product design interview. If you have any more questions, or if you have any specific question that you ever faced and were not able to answer, put them on the section below and I will respond. I'll see you in the next one. Ta-da!